Welcome to my first video since 2018, I think. I have to check, but I feel like I haven't filmed or posted a video in so long. This video will be fun and exciting for me, at least, for two reasons. One, it's my first video back after I don't even know how long. And second of all, I'm going to be attempting my first ever 24-hour readathon. I don't know how that's gonna go. I've done readathons in the past, but they were mainly 30-day or month-long readathons. So I never really tried something where I was just, okay, 24 hours, read as much as I can. So I decided to try that today. I decided that I would start at 3 p.m. today. Today is the 26th of January 2020. It's a Sunday. And I have a 5-day weekend this week, which started on Friday because of the Lunar New Year. Happy Lunar New Year, by the way, if you celebrate. And it will end 3 p.m. tomorrow, 27th, Monday. I decided to do it this way instead of midnight to midnight because I refuse to stay up late or to sacrifice sleep. It just affects my body and my mental health too much, so I'm not gonna do that. I wanted to do noon to noon, but I ended up having lunch plans earlier, and so I have to start a little later. So because I don't know how much I can get done in 24 hours, I'm just going to start small. My main goal is to finish one book, but I've given myself 3 books to read, so if I can get through all 3 or get as close to all 3 as possible, that'd be great. If I finish all 3 and I still have time, I have another book that I have in mind, but I'm not going to talk about that unless we actually get to that, which I kind of doubt, but we'll see. So my first book, which is also the one book that I really want to finish, is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This is actually this month's Late to the Hype book club read, and I'm always late to the hype. I always read books 5 years after they were first popular, so that's why I think this book club is a fantastic idea. And the thing is, I only have a few more days before January is over. I kind of need to hustle so I can keep up with the book club. So I actually don't know what this book is about. I just know that it's a fantasy book, and my personal problem with fantasy books is that it takes me a while to get into. Regardless of how well it's written or how immersive it is, I do still find myself struggling through the first 50 or so pages when it comes to fantasy books. This happened to A Darker Shade of Magic. This has happened with all fantasy books that I've tried to read in the past. So hopefully I can barrel through the first 5-ish chapters, and hopefully I'll have a good time reading this book. But yeah, I'm excited to read this book because I've actually never read anything by Laini Taylor, and I am keen to start. So if I do manage to finish that, the second book that I want to read is Percy Jackson and the Last Olympian. So this is the 5th and final book in the Percy Jackson series, and it's also the last book for the Demigod-a-thon. The thing is, I know that this would be a very fast read for me. On normal days when I have work and all that crap, I can finish this book in maybe 2 to 3 days, I would say. So if I do finish Strange the Dreamer, I feel like I could get a lot of this in. But yeah, this is the second book that I want to read. The third book on my TBR for this readathon is The First 15 Lives of Harry August. This is a book that's been on my TBR for I don't even know how long. I just checked Goodreads and I added that book to my TBR in May last year, so slightly less than a year ago. Again, I don't know much about this book. I just know that a lot of BookTube loves it, and I think I forgot who, but someone had summarized what it was about in one of their favorites videos or wrap-up videos, and I thought it was interesting, so I decided to just add it to my reading list. So that's a sci-fi book, which again is another genre that I tend to have a little bit of trouble getting into, but for the most part, once I'm through with the first 50 or so pages, I'm like very keen on the story and can like keep reading. It's just the beginning part that I guess I find a bit intimidating. So yeah, I'm just going to wait until 3. I still have 3 more minutes and I will get started reading. So it's currently 5 p.m. and I did not spend the past 2 hours reading. After I filmed that intro, I realized that I needed to charge my phone, so I decided to delay it by an hour and take a nap. But then 4 o'clock came and I was like, no, I still need to nap some more. So I ended up napping until now. So yeah, basically off to a rocky start. I wasn't sure if I should start it now and just change my reading duration to 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. or if I should stick to my initial 3 p.m. to 3 p.m. and just consider this 2 hours wasted. I think maybe I should not be so hard on myself and just start now at 5. The official start time will now be 5 p.m. and the official end time will also be 5 p.m. just to see how much I can get done in that time. But yeah, hello again. So it's currently slightly past midnight and I'm so tired. So I thought dinner would end a bit earlier today, but we ended up going until about 11 because after dinner we had some cake because tomorrow's, well, I guess technically today is my aunt's birthday, and we also played, I think we played blackjack for about 2.5 hours. Playing cards is kind of an annual Lunar New Year tradition because, you know, the whole family gets together and it's just fun to play cards. So that was very, very fun as well. So before dinner, I didn't get very far in Strange the Dreamer. I can show you. I've been taking like a lot of notes. So from this page until this, because there's a lot of made up words and a lot of lore and a bit of geography as well going into this book, I wanted to write everything down so that in the future, if there's ever a throwaway comment about this place or that person, I won't get lost. So I do recognize that I am maybe annotating a lot right now, and that's why I'm reading quite slowly. I think I've only finished the first chapter. So the introduction of Laszlo, as well as some backstory on what the 2 mysteries of Weep are. But I'm actually really into it. I tend to struggle getting into fantasy books for the most part, but this time it's actually quite okay. I'm actually not struggling so hard. I'm not sure if it's because my annotation is helping me, but yeah, I'm really pleased about that. Anyway, so my plan now is to lay back, keep annotating, and maybe get another hour in. I don't want to stay up late to read. I would rather get enough sleep and wake up a little earlier to continue reading. I've decided I'm not going to go to the gym tomorrow morning. If I do want to work out, I'll do a bit of yoga. And yeah, so I'm probably not going to check in until tomorrow. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Slow start. I've only managed 1 chapter in the first 7 hours of this readathon, but I am trying to be realistic and not cancel all of my plans for the sake of reading, because this is a hobby. This is supposed to be fun, right? Anyway, see you next update. So it's currently a little past 10 a.m. I just got showered and all that, and before I hopped into the shower, I was checking my YouTube subscriptions, and I saw that the Late to the Hype book club has already had their live discussion. Oh no! I was like, oh no, I need to catch up. God. I ended up sleeping at about 3 a.m. last night because I was Skyping my boyfriend. So I didn't actually manage to read much. I think I managed about 1 chapter before I went to sleep. So far, this has not been a very productive readathon, but I do have 7 more hours of the readathon to go. So my goal is to get Strange the Dreamer finished. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm really doubting my abilities because I'm spending so much time annotating and like writing down all the little factoids as they come up. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm gonna try my best. Even if I don't finish it, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna try my best to finish this book, and once I finished it, I'm gonna reward myself by watching that live discussion. I'm not doing anything today, so I'm gonna get some tea, get some breakfast, and start reading. I just skimmed through the clip I just filmed and I realized I never addressed it. I'm hugging my shark. This is the IKEA shark. I think it's been quite popular like 2 years ago or something. But yes, his name is Monty. I was snuggling him like this. I've just got some tea brewing right now. This is the cherry blossom tea from Withered. It's quite nice, quite lovely. And I've decided to not have anything too heavy for breakfast since it's 10:20. I'll be having lunch at about 12 anyway, so I'm just gonna have some cookies, I think. Snack on while I have my tea and read Strange the Dreamer. So unrelated, kind of related to the vlog I'm filming. I'm just about to do my makeup for the outro. I just wanted to kind of show my process of how I like to sometimes change up the makeup that I do. So I have a list of all the palettes that I own, as well as all the eyeshadow singles, and I've given them all a number. So this is eyeshadow total pans. So what I like to do is I like to go on a randomizer website and randomize 4 to 6 shades depending on how I feel, and I'm going to craft the look based on these shades. So these numbers are what I randomized, and these are the shades they correspond with. So this pink is from this Huda Beauty palette. It's this one right here, and the other 3 are singles or depotted shadows, and they're all like super green. So I guess I'm going with a green look with a bit of pink. I guess this is kind of gradienty because that duochrome, the second duochrome, is both pink and green. So I actually just made quite a decent gradient. So yeah, just wanted to pop this in just because I thought it might be interesting to some people. So the lighting is definitely kind of dramatic right now, but I kind of like it. So I'm just gonna roll with it. The 24 hours have lapsed, and I'm gonna talk about how I did, which was not very well. I ended up only reading about 25% of Strange the Dreamer, so not even close to my goal of finishing one book and starting Percy Jackson. It was definitely a good learning experience for me in the sense that I previously did not really know how fast I could read or how much I could read in a day, and now I have a better idea, especially when it comes to something that's a little bit more complex like a fantasy book, as opposed to maybe a young adult that's a lot easier to get into because there's not so much world building that needs to be done, or there aren't that many like new words or new societal rules to figure out. Even in the 25% of Strange the Dreamer that I read, I have done so much annotating. Like, I don't think I went a single chapter without at least making 2 or 3 notes. It was definitely a very involved read, which made it so that I couldn't just read a chapter quickly when dinner was kind of quiet. You know, I kind of had to concentrate. It sounds like I'm making excuses, but I promise I'm not. Because I also recognize that I didn't focus myself as much as I could have. I still allowed myself to take naps. I still allowed myself to, you know, get a full 6 hours, 7 hours of sleep. So yeah, it's definitely not the most intense 24-hour readathon, and definitely not the most intense I could have gotten. But I enjoyed it because it allowed me to figure out how fast I could read and how much I could read, and I know that I'm definitely not one of the fastest readers out there. I definitely set my expectations for myself very high, and it is also because I watch a lot of reading vlogs where people are reading like 1,000 pages in 24 hours and that sort of thing, and I think it's really cool that other people can do it, but I'm definitely not one of those people. But yeah, coming back to the book, I love it so much. It was a little bit tough getting into the first couple of chapters, but I feel this way about any fantasy series anyway that I'm not familiar with, just because it takes me a while to kind of get used to the way they speak and the descriptions and how everyone operates. So that's definitely not a criticism of the book, that's just more a criticism of me and how I absorb fantasy books. Laini Taylor's writing is so good, it's so beautiful. Every single line is a prose, every single line is poetic. I actually really enjoy authors who can make every single sentence sound like it should be written in calligraphy and hung up on the wall for all to see. I love Laszlo so much. I know I'm only a quarter of the way in. His determination and how dedicated he is to figuring out what he wants to figure out, I just find so commendable. And I love how even though he spent his whole life being beaten down, the one time when he's confronted with potentially fulfilling his dream, he doesn't back down. He nearly did, but he didn't in the end. He stood up for himself and I'm trying not to talk about this in a way that could be spoilery, but I just love it so much so far. I guess I'm just gonna end my vlog here. There's not much to say, not much to update either. Progress, 25% of Strange the Dreamer, that's it. But yeah, this is my first video in 8 months, I think. I'm not sure. And I'm just trying to get back into the groove of things. This has probably been kind of awkward, but I'm hoping that I'll eventually ease my way into it and get comfortable being in front of the camera. And yeah, thank you for watching.